I went down to my local retailer the other day to buy this camera, actually. I walked in, and because it was convenient, and I spoke to a high-level sales rep who was very experienced. He was, in his 50s. He'd been there for years. And I spent an hour with him evaluating what the right camera for me was. I benefited from this guy's knowledge. He's a resource being funded by the retailer, be 50 grand base and commissions, one of 10 in the shop at the time. And after an hour I walked away knowing that there was a particular camera model that had just been replaced, and they had a lot of stock, and they were prepared to cut their price down, and it was high definition, the video resolution, quality. Everything I needed to know was given to me by this particular person. I walked out of that shop with the camera and the model number, and I told the sales rep that I was going to look up the internet, and if his price was competitive, I'll be back. And I set up a Google alert, and I had Google send me all of the information, any page or video indexed that used the words that represented that camera make and model. And over the next 48 hours, I opened my feed reader, and I would have 100, 200 pages of pages that were indexed in relation to the camera that I had already determined is the camera I wanted. From Amazon to eBay, they were everywhere. There was one particular merchant that was probably more dominant than others, had a greater retail presence than others. So I took the merchant's name and I put a Google alert in for that merchant to see if he was on social media. And sure enough, the guy with the largest retail presence, the most alerts, was everywhere. He had a blog, he had a Facebook page, he had a Twitter account. But I was able to join his social networks. I was able to follow him on Twitter. I was able to get into a conversation with him and his group. I found forums talking about the camera, talking about its faults, talking about its benefits, talking about its price. You won't get a consumer that's better educated on that particular product than I was before I spent a cent, because I use social media as a consumer. But not only am I in there as a consumer, my story on the retail shop's price compared to the price I paid becomes part of the story, part of the conversation, because I tell people, I'm telling you, I found a camera from this guy selling through Amazon. I saved $1,000 on my camera. The seller had sold 1,600 cameras and had a rating of 99 point something percent from the 1,600 sales he had made of that camera. I could go into eBay and have a look at his rating. He was a trusted supplier. People rated him for reliability, for mail efficiencies and quality of products, you name it. I've now not only bought the camera from this guy and saved $1,000, but it doesn't end there. I have a large audience, a large following on my blogs. A lot of those people are going to need cameras. Do I need to be a camera expert? No, I don't, because I've got one. I've just hooked up with one. He's now in my network, I'm in his, I follow his tweets, I'm in tune with him, I know where to go. Now, a camera expert that lives and breathes cameras and sells cameras all day is going to be at the hottest destinations on the web, and he's going to be a part of the news and the conversation in that particular niche. But he's not just any head that I'm following, he's a head that I bought off. I've spent $400 with. I trust. He sent me the camera within 2 days. He saved me $1,000. But beyond that, again, I sign up as an affiliate for that particular merchant, so I can sell his camera for him and earn $70, $80 commission to my people. So I'm not only referring a trusted source that provides a great service and good stock and good product to my audience who trust me. It's win for me, it's win for him, it's win for my followers. Now, how does he get away with selling a camera $1,000 less? Well, it's not a matter of how he gets away with it. He doesn't have any stock. He sells online. The order goes directly through to the manufacturer, whose drop shipper sends it to me. He never handles the product. He just sells it. He sells thousands of them. And he can even give a $60, $70 commission on anybody else selling it through him. He doesn't have an office. He doesn't have a retail outlet. He doesn't have 10 staff standing around waiting to say the same thing over and over to customers. He has a blog presence. He has a YouTube presence. He has a Twitter presence. He tells the video once, and thousands of customers can go through and listen to what he's got to say on the videos. He's got hundreds of videos up there about the cameras, doing product reviews. Obviously, it's more convenient to go into the store and talk one-on-one with somebody, but the fact that the store has to pay that person to be there doing that, and the fact that the store has to pay $2,000 a week rent to house that conversation, means that they have to charge $1,400. It's the cost of doing business like that. And for people like my mother and father who don't use social media and struggle on the internet, they have no choice They have to go down and use those particular shops, and they have to pay those prices. It's not an unfair price. They're not getting ripped off. It's the price that they have to pay to do business like that as a consumer. And it's the price that the merchant has to charge to do business like that as a merchant. So it's not a question of why social media. It's certainly not a question of if you use social media. Social media is the media we have. My kids won't know any different. The retail outlet selling cameras at $1,400 when my 5-year-old is a 25-year-old won't exist. Just the same as 10 years ago. The travel agencies that were on every corner don't exist anymore. The internet took them out. It took plenty of businesses out. And it's going to take out plenty more as we know them. Because business models change. Marketing changes. Customer relationships change. Customer support changes. So the only question is how can you best use the media we have to get your message out, to put your message in front of a group and have it be talked about. And that question can be answered very cheaply